Okay, confession time. A few months ago, AI had me terrified. I'd see these new tools doing things in seconds that took me years to get good at, and it just kicked up this massive wave of inadequacy. I honestly started to feel like my skills, my career, everything I'd worked for was about to become obsolete. It felt like I was in a race I had no chance of winning. This isn't just me. Social media and recent studies are full of people feeling anxious and having their self-esteem tank because of constant comparison. And now we're not just comparing ourselves to other people, but to machines. And right when I was in the middle of that panic, I stumbled onto a secret from the ancient Stoics that completely changed my perspective. So in this video, I want to share how I used their 2,000-year-old wisdom to not just get a handle on my fear, but to reinvent my skills and prove that we, as humans, still have a winning hand to play. Let's be real. You watch an AI spit out a breathtaking piece of art, write perfect code, or draft a complex legal doc in the time it takes you to make a coffee. The first reaction is a punch to the gut. It's that sinking feeling of, well, what good am I now? And this isn't just about job security. It cuts deeper, hitting our identity and our self-worth. It feels like the whole world is upgrading and we're being left behind like last year's software. This feeling of being obsolete is cranked up to 11 by the constant noise. Headlines are screaming about job replacement, and every other social media post seems to be showing off AI's latest miracle. It creates this perfect storm of anxiety, and pretty soon, we start suffering more in our imagination than in reality. We dream up these futures where we're useless, and that fear can be absolutely paralyzing. It's so easy to feel like a victim of the future, totally powerless against a force you can't possibly compete with. That's exactly where I was. So, why does this hurt so much? At its core, the pain comes from AI challenging how we've always defined our value. For generations, our worth has been wrapped up in our skills, the things we can do. But what happens when a machine can do those things faster, and maybe even better? Who are we then? It feels like the ground is shifting right under our feet. We start to buy into the idea that our worth is fragile, that it can be snatched away by the next big tech breakthrough. And this throws us into a vicious cycle. We feel inadequate, so we hustle harder trying to outrun an algorithm. But that's a race you'll never win, and it's completely exhausting. The more we fixate on the external threat of AI, the more power we hand over to it, letting it control our peace of mind. This is where so many of us get stuck, in a loop of fear, reaction, and burnout. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if our value was never really about our skills in the first place? This is where a 2,000-year-old philosophy comes to the rescue. The Stoics, guys like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and the philosopher Seneca, dealt with plagues, wars, and exile. They built a mental toolkit for resilience that is shockingly relevant today. Their most powerful secret? It's called the dichotomy of control. The Stoics taught that life is split into two parts, things you can control and things you can't. You can't control how fast AI develops. You can't control the global economy. You can't control what other people are doing with these tools. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus would say, worrying about those things is a total waste of your energy. So what can you control? Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You control your mindset. You control your actions. You control how you choose to respond to change. You control where you focus your energy to grow. Just that simple shift in perspective is the key to taking your power back. AI isn't the enemy, your fear is. By the way, if this idea is starting to click for you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm always exploring how ancient wisdom can help us solve modern problems, and I'd love for you to join the conversation. Okay, so how do we actually use this ancient secret to fight back against feeling inadequate? First, embrace this challenge as an opportunity. The Stoics didn't just put up with hardship, they believed it was necessary for growth. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." So, stop seeing AI as a threat that makes you obsolete and start seeing it as a challenge that's forcing you to evolve. This is your invitation to level up. What are the unique human skills you can lean into? Things like creativity, genuine empathy, critical thinking, and moral courage can't be automated. Second, reframe failure as feedback. As you're learning new skills to adapt to this new world, you're going to stumble. That's a guarantee. Instead of seeing a failed attempt as a final verdict on your worth, see it for what it is: data. A coding project that doesn't work isn't a sign that you're useless, it's just information showing you what to learn next. This one shift turns setbacks from something terrifying into the raw material for your own growth. Finally, build your inner citadel. Your mind is a fortress, and you're the guard at the gate. In a world of constant noise and distraction, you have to protect it. Stop the endless doom scrolling through scary headlines and over-the-top AI hype. Instead, carve out time for focused thought, for journaling, or even just for being still. Your inner peace is your ultimate advantage. It gives you the clarity to navigate change with courage instead of reacting with panic. Look, the world is going to keep changing. AI will keep evolving. All of that is completely outside of our control. But your inner world, your mindset, your character, your choices, that is timeless, and it is completely yours. Your value as a human being isn't defined by what you can produce or how well you stack up against a machine. It's defined by your character. This isn't a time for us to sit back and worry. It's a time to actively equip ourselves with a more resilient mindset. The challenge AI presents isn't a death sentence for your career, but a forced evolution for your spirit. So I'll leave you with this question. What is one thing completely within your control that you are going to focus on this week? Let me know your answer in the comments below. Because as Seneca wrote, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. By focusing on our inner strength, we discover a type of wealth that no technology can ever take away.